Hello, everybody. Welcome to Journal with Me, plus your angel messages. We are on day 26 of this 30-day challenge. However, I have decided I will definitely extend it one day because on December 1st, we have a new moon, a beautiful time for journaling. So we can't miss doing that together. That'll be this Sunday. So it will actually end up being a 31-day challenge. I did not plan that, but we started on November 1st, which was a new moon. So I want to keep the energy encapsulated in this amazing bubble of us all connecting every day. It's such an honor to do so. We are going to be going through our normal journaling process where I pull some angel cards. We have a pocket affirmation. And of course, we chit chat and check in with each other's energy, check in with our routine, see if we're keeping up with our spiritual routine and doing things to support that. So it's so much fun coming on here with all of you. I will be live on Thanksgiving. I've had a couple questions about that, and I decided I'm going to set the time for 8 a.m. Central because I don't know the activities I'm going to be doing Wednesday evening with family, and I didn't want to, have to get up too early with a busy day ahead. So, I'm sorry if that's a little late for some of you because we have been getting on here so early. Normally during the weekday, 6:15 a.m. has been my normal time. In fact, I may even be going live a little later tomorrow as well. Tomorrow is my live, though, my Wednesday live at 11 a.m. Central, where we have a spiritual topic. And I finally remembered to actually schedule it. I usually schedule it as soon as I plan it, but I forgot to schedule it. So you can now see it on there if you want to hit the notify me button. The title is Facing Family After Your Spiritual Awakening. But essentially what we're going to be doing is talking about how to handle being around family members that don't support your journey or don't understand it or haven't gone through anything similar. So it's just hard to have the conversation with them. Ways that we can support our loved ones, ways that we can support ourselves through that energetically. It's really, really important topic with these holidays. And so I think that's where we're going to go tomorrow with the topic. And of course, I will have bonus angel messages for you at the end. I always answer your questions in that live. So please, if you can join, and we'll go over that as well. So yeah, here we are today, getting started with the messages and the energy. Good morning, Heidi. Good morning, Sparkle and Grit. I was just reminding everybody about tomorrow's live. I hadn't remembered to schedule it, but it is scheduled now. And I'm trying to get better about asking if you would like, if this video resonates with you, to hit the like button and hit the subscribe button and share the video. It really helps my channel grow. I appreciate it so much. You might hear my cat meowing outside the door. He was curious why I was the only one up this early. Everybody else is sleeping in today because they don't have school. But that gives me more time with you guys if we need it, because I don't have to race out the door the minute I hit end to this live. All right, so let's go to our first blank spot in the journal, like we always do. Running out of room on this one, but I'm still going to use it. So here we are on November 26th. I was up super early this morning. In case you can hear it in my voice, I'm way more awake than normal. Thank you, Dana. Yeah, he's out there going, why can't I come in there? He has a tendency to chew on things, so this is one of the few rooms I don't let him in with all the studio equipment. Sometimes I'll let him in if I know I can easily keep an eye on him, but yeah, he has a vet appointment this morning. They both do. They're doing their wellness check. So, okay. So, of course, as always, I go to this spot right here and I set the intention of saying, thank you, God, for today, morning angels and guides. So we are very intentional about who we're connecting with, right? We're not just connecting with anybody. We're connecting with our spiritual team. Like I said, I was up at around 4:20 this morning, and I laid there for a little while trying to go back to sleep. I did my prayers like I normally do, like we've talked about in the past. But then my body was like, "Hey, let's just get up. We'll take a nap later if we need it," which was nice. I've gotten a couple of things done already. I had a visit from a passed away family friend yesterday, kind of out of the blue, and so I had to journal about that. I was actually outside putting up, fixing one of my outdoor decorations had fallen in the wind, and I was sitting there putting a little extra decor on it, and I heard her come through so loudly. She was complimenting my decorations, and it's interesting. I'm going to have to ask my mom. She was a good friend of my mom's. I'm going to have to ask her if we were close to her birthday or transition date, because it was like, wow, I haven't thought about her in years. But I wanted to share that with you because even though we're in Sagittarius season now, usually, a lot of times during Scorpios, when you can feel how thin the veil is, this time of year also will bring a lot of loved ones around because we're being reminded of time with them. So, oh, thank you, Dana. I appreciate that. Yeah, I've came across my Archangel Gabriel ornament, or at least that's what I'm calling it. It could be any angel you want, but I thought, let's bring that in. I need to bring in some of my Christmas stuff too. I will soon enough. But yeah, I wanted to share that with you because, again, you may really be feeling loved ones across the veil, especially during the holiday season, especially around Thanksgiving, where you're using family recipes that have been passed down. I certainly do that with my grandmother. Taught me how to make fried asparagus. If you've never had that, oh my gosh, it's so good. I only do it once a year, but even my kids will eat it. They won't eat asparagus normally, but they're like, "You're making it right." It's kind of messy. We fry it in peanut oil, so. But I always make it every year, and I'm thinking of my grandmother the entire time. 6:22 our time, and she has a lot of recipes she passed down, but that's the one I do for Thanksgiving every year. So I definitely feel her all the time, but especially around the holidays. Good morning, Carla. We were just talking about, kind of staying open and aware to who might be coming in with this energy. Because, like I said, I was really surprised to see my mom's friend stop by. So I'll be chatting with her about that and seeing what was going on. Maybe my mom was thinking about her. So here we go with the first angel message. And then I liked what we did yesterday where we used the second card for the pocket affirmation. It kind of brought more clarity. So we're going to do that today too. So I will definitely get to that. We're just going to do it a little later into these messages. So let's start with the first card we have for today, which, as you know, when I shuffle these cards, I've been setting the intention that it represent recent, past, present, and near future. And also we start with that journaling prompt. Angels, what do you need me to know right now? Or what you want me to know, or what's in my highest interest to know? Write it however resonates with you. And of course, I am thinking that question and that journaling prompt as I'm shuffling the cards, and I'm asking that it be in your highest interest as well. I say anybody who comes across these messages live or later, allow it to be in their highest interest to hear these messages. So that's the way I do it. So the intention's already there, but if you want to put that in your journal, that can be helpful as well. Oh, wow. Heidi's cousin Debbie came through last night. Interesting. Sparkle and Grit says, I keep getting visited by my great aunt Blanche. Not only does she randomly pop into my mind, but I've been seeing people that look just like her for days now. So interesting. I miss her very much. I just had that happen this morning, Sparkle and Grit. And my condolences to both of you on that. I understand it very deeply. But I just had that happen this morning. I turned on my computer and an image of somebody that looked very similar to a loved one of mine across the veil popped up, and I had to do a double take, right? You have to be like, wait, what? Huh? And they do that. They do kind of come through other people quickly just to kind of remind you they're there. It's really interesting. So I'm grateful you are aware of that. Give yourself credit. Don't be afraid to ask, hey, what's going on? Why are you popping in? Obviously they're probably popping in to say hello and check on you, but It could also be just to help you out with something. I know my grandmother will come in to give me advice. She will come in to encourage me. I have a loved one across the veil that will come across to help me with technology. So don't be afraid to pause and ask yourself, what were you just thinking about? And that's a great part there too for me to remind you, if you haven't gotten my free ebook, which you get when you sign up for my free newsletter at devondoer.com, that gives you 5 questions to ask when you think you've received a sign from a loved one, from an angel, from a guide. All right, so here's our first card. This is going to represent the recent past. So within the last 24 to 48 hours. And of course, we're going to tie in hindsight as well from the cards we got yesterday to go even deeper with these meanings. But wow, the recent past. We have this card, Awakening. We've gotten this pretty often during this challenge, haven't we? And I mean, let me tell you, there's 72 cards in this deck. I shuffled them thoroughly all the time. And yet here comes this card again about look at things from a different perspective, a temporary standstill. It's important to be yourself. But because this is in the recent past, I'm going to ask you to think back on anything you've had to do over the last couple of days where you really had to stand in your power. You had to be authentic. You had to maybe face somebody who has a different viewpoint than you or said something in a tactless way. Where did you have to really be yourself in order to stand in your power? Because you're being asked to give yourself credit for that. And I've certainly had some conversations, or I should say, news made it to me in a kind of backwards way that caused me to be apprehensive about some conversations I had coming up. But I asked the angels for help, and I said, allow me to be authentic, stand in my beliefs, and it ended up being very easy to have those conversations. But I knew that whatever I decided to do, I was going to have to really make sure I didn't back down on my own, my own beliefs and my own strength and authentic self. So give yourself credit for that. And again, we're going to use some hindsight too to tie this in. And before we go on to our next card, let's check in with our spiritual routine, and then we'll do a pocket affirmation with the next card. I like to always go to do this. I usually do this first, but I've been doing it second after the first card just to get us going with the messages. If you track your routine, flip to that part of your journal. And yesterday was the 25th. I did get my full workout in, felt amazing. I did all my normal supplements. The only thing I can't remember, I forgot to check the clock when I went to bed last night. I remember the castor oil. So I don't know if I was in bed by 10, and I think I was not. That's so unusual for me. But my husband and I stayed up, and we don't normally do this on weeknights, but we're already in that holiday mode. We watched that new Ted Danson series on Netflix that just came out, and it was an easy watch. It's like really positive. So we were like, we only have one more. Let's watch it. So I'm pretty sure I was not in bed by 10, but that's okay. It was worth it. And it's the holidays. But then I ended up getting up at 4:30. So I guess I'm going to need a nap later. We'll see. Good morning, Leah. Good to see you. Heidi has a question here. The Mercury retrograde spread, do we only do it once for the whole retrograde, or can we do it a few times? Do it a few times, Heidi. Definitely. Definitely do it as every time you feel the urge. And thank you for bringing that up. We do have Mercury retrograde now, and I have my free Mercury retrograde angel card spread linked below, or you can use your tarot deck if you want, or playing cards if that's how you do it. But grab that free download linked below and use it to make the most of this Mercury retrograde. You're so welcome, Heidi. I plan on doing it again myself as well. Like I said, I did it last week, and it actually helped me plan things this week because of it. One of the things I got was about people around me. There was guidance around taking extra time for those around you, being willing to change some things to accommodate. And certainly we've had to do that, but I already had the heads up and I did make some plans based on that. So I'm grateful. It made today's schedule very busy, but I'm getting it done. Oh, the other guidance I got, which you may feel as well, because I feel like this is a collective energy, but I do encourage you to handle any challenges, do them up front, right? What I mean is don't procrastinate, right? We got that guidance yesterday. So let's go back into the guidance because I think we're going to have some good, hindsight. That's the word. Hindsight. All right, let me check in with my moods yesterday. Yesterday, my mood was... you know what it was? It was me not wanting to do anything. I did stuff, but I was like, I just want to be done. I just want to relax because I could feel the holiday creeping in. It's not till Thursday, but I could just, with the kids being home, it's just, you just don't want to do stuff. And I had to deal with like health insurance things. And I was like, oh, I don't want to do this. So I have to be honest. I needed the angels to help me raise my vibration most of the day. It wasn't a super big deal, but I just didn't want to do the things I needed to do. So I'm going to put that in there so I can recognize it. I used to be where I would have several days in a row of angels help me raise my vibration until I started really getting good about doing things that were healthy every day for protecting my energy. Dana says, oh my gosh, I never thought to do my self checklist when in the spiritual meditative prayer space. I've always separated from them. How perfect and much more aligned for success. Thank you for this. Oh, you're so welcome, Dana. Yes, I change these every month. I'm going to be doing something different for December where I put all my healthy stuff, my supplements. I'll put them on just one line. I'm going to track some other stuff in December. And I'll share that with you all when we get there. But the thing that I like to do is see the way my mood aligns with, or my productivity. Like I have different things I track with my moods, how it aligns with when I didn't get my workout in, or when I didn't get to bed by 10, or I didn't take my supplements, right? It kind of helps me to see what actually is making a difference. And pardon me just a moment here. I need to grab a tissue. So the other thing I like to do as a reminder, just in case you are new, Dana, I'm not sure if you've seen this part of this video, but I do also in this journal, I keep an evergreen calendar where I just put things like the full moon, the new moon. So let's see. Let's go to the December one real quickly. This coming up this Sunday, we have the new moon. We have Mars going retrograde, Neptune going direct, Venus going to Aquarius, like those kinds of things. Even if you don't follow astrology, you can put other things in here. Like got a phone call from so-and-so that really opened my eyes. Oh, 6:33. Did I say 6:22 earlier when I saw it? Because I saw it. So yeah, I do find, Dana, putting it all in here. Then you can ask your team for help with things, getting things done. I do track the energy, like I said. I'm tracking Mars and Leo right now to see how that feels. And I'm putting the little glyphs for the moon here. But you can use it for whatever you want. If you don't follow astrology, I will tell you one of the things that got me into astrology. I never had an interest for years. I was just more about the angels and the animals. But I started tracking the new moon, full moon, waxing, and waning moons with my mood. So cyclical, right, things. And I would notice the certain time phases of the moon, I would be more productive. At certain phases, I would sleep less or more. Those kinds of things. So it is really fun to see. And then when you have all these records of it, you have that powerful gift of hindsight. And that's how I was able to realize that, on certain transits, I can really make the most of it. And other transits, I need to give myself some grace and allow myself to just go back to getting just a small amount of things done. And I did give you guys a little sneak peek yesterday. I went ahead and used my Christmas washi tape. I'm so excited about that. I don't get to that till next week. So let's go back to our journaling here. We have our first card was the Awakening card. So I'm just going to put that in there. And then let's pull our second card so we can get our pocket affirmation for today. So this was our recent past, and of course we're going to tie it in, but make sure you are giving yourself credit for where you had to really be authentic around someone else, or just in the way you responded, I should say. Maybe it wasn't a conversation, you just knew, look, my authentic self would not allow this to bother me. I'm going to cut cords with this, or I'm going to say this to set an energetic boundary. I did have to call Archangel Michael in to cut cords and shield my energy quite a bit yesterday, but that was part of me being authentic. So my present card, present tense, this is the energy that's going right now, affecting us all as we are here watching this live or in the recording. We have this 3 of Air card. So this is talking about needing the time, taking the time to heal, possibly forgiving yourself or others. So I am feeling this is related to something that happened yesterday or the day before, a conversation or information that made its way to you. Maybe somebody said something behind your back and it made its way back to you, whether that person meant it for it to or not. This energy right here is asking you to slow down and take the time you need to heal. But we've also been talking today a lot about loved ones coming across the veil. So it may be there is something around losing that loved one that needs a little more attention, allowing that to that energy or that grief to be acknowledged. So that is definitely something that I am feeling for several of us here watching now or later, is someone across the veil is asking you to either forgive them for something or just allow yourself more time around the healing that's needed with that loss and the grief that comes up, or simply missing somebody. You know, sometimes the thing with grief too is it comes out of nowhere. So we want to stop if that happens. I know in some communities it's called the grief bombs, right? You just don't expect it. You're going about your day. You think you're going to get all these things done, and here comes the grief bomb. That's what we're being asked to do, is pause, give yourself that opportunity to heal. So that's going to help us with our pocket affirmation today. I think we're going to talk about forgiveness here. So I'm thinking, let me first write 3 of Air so I don't forget. And I am seeing the word forgiveness as key here. We had this card the other day, and I know we said the affirmation we used was about, I easily take all the time I need to heal, right? Yeah, I easily take the time I need to heal is the one we used the other day when we pulled this card. But for this card, I think we're going to say, I open to forgiveness for myself and others. I am open to forgiveness for myself and others. And the reason I'm saying I am open is because it doesn't happen overnight sometimes. It depends on what it is. We have to be authentic in the way we work through it. And, you know, the argument could be made that it's a long process. It's not something you're just like, okay, I forgive you. Now, sometimes you can do that with an argument or something that's said, but I'm feeling this is going a little deeper. Heidi's saying, yes, came out of nowhere, miss her so much. Yeah, and you know, that's the thing. I think that's where we're being asked, especially with the energy that's coming up with the holidays, and those of you in the US who are going to be celebrating Thanksgiving and thinking of these passed away loved ones a lot more. just hold space for yourself. If you're going to be around a lot of people today or throughout this week, maybe you can get away for a little bit, go do some journaling, go just, rest, do some meditation, protect your energy and protect your right to take the time you need to heal. And so, yeah, I'm definitely, we're going to get clarification on this in just a minute when when we tie in the hindsight and when we pull the action cards that we're going to pull. But this is definitely a wonderful reminder of the power of forgiveness. And often it's something where we need to forgive ourselves, for not saying something or not doing something in time. Wish I would have said more. I wish I would have said this, those kinds of things. That's that should have, could have, would have energy that we can't change, right? And the angels don't want us to do that. The angels want us to have compassion for ourselves and trust that we did the best we could at the time. So again, I would encourage you to use that affirmation. I am open to forgiveness for myself and others. Okay, let's pull this near future card in. Just put these aside for a minute so we can focus on it, because I really feel like this near future card we're going to feel this energy later today or tomorrow. I'm just feeling that that's the way these cards have been playing out. The near future is literally like this afternoon or this evening. So Dana says, this is perfectly resonating. Oh, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. Well, our spiritual team is so efficient. They know who's going to be here listening live or on the recording. All right. So the present card that we have here is 9 of Air. Interesting. Okay. We're going to get some clarification on these cards. I'm glad we have a little extra time today because this is interesting energy here. Expecting the worst, self-fulfilling prophecies, sleepless nights. So it's an air card. This is a card of communication, but it's also very much a card of being stuck in your head, right? So a self-fulfilling prophecy is, where you say, oh, I always end up with the guy that cheats on me, right? And then you constantly look for signs the person's cheating on you. Now, I don't really feel like that applies to any of us here, but if it is something that you faced in the past, think back about how that felt. I do see with a lot of people who don't do self-reflection, they will constantly affirm the negative. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong, those kinds of things, right? Oh, this always happens. Or I knew this was going to happen, darn it, and those kinds of things. Your mind was already thinking those things. That's what this is about. So we really are being asked to guard our thoughts and the way we communicate with ourselves, communicating with others as well, but mostly the way we communicate with ourselves. Heidi says, your words are a comfort, Devon, things unsaid. Oh, thank you so much, Heidi. I'm grateful. I'm comforted to know they are a comfort. Carla says, Thanksgiving was always my mom's favorite holiday. It's not the same without her. I am open to forgiveness for myself and others. Oh, thank you, Carla. I got choked up reading that. It was my grandmother's favorite too. So, wow. Yeah, we're all feeling this energy a lot. I just got angel bumps from head to toe there. That felt like my grandma. So, we're going to pull in some action cards here, but let's go into hindsight for a minute and let's pull these cards together and look at yesterday's cards as well. Yesterday, we had the first card in the recent past was 6 of Earth, and I was getting the energy of needing to balance resources. In the present energy yesterday, we had 4 of Earth, and that was about investing your time or energy into something, either investing in yourself. For me, it was investing the time in doing some research and handling some things. And the near future card we got yesterday was the 7 of Water or 7 of Cups, which of course is again needing to do research, needing to get the information. And that's exactly what I was doing. I was researching some stuff on health and healthcare, and I needed to get that done. So I was doing a lot of research there, and the action cards were to continue to move forward. And you know what? I forgot to write down the 5th card. I have the number 5 here and I didn't write it down, but I remember it was about moving forward for sure. So if anybody remembers what the 2nd action card is, let me know in the comments. But I definitely feel like it was around, slowing down and getting the information you need, but don't stop what you're doing, whatever your intentions are, especially with this Mercury retrograde that we have now. Oh, it was 5 of air. Thank you, Heidi. I'm putting it in right now. 5 of air. That's really great. Thank you so much. So that's right. It was talking about communication. And we were also talking about other people's motives, like reviewing motives of people. So again, I feel like with these 2 air cards here, this is really interesting, the way that we're being reminded to get out of our heads here. So we're going to pull some more cards for clarification and checking in with what actions do we take next. So let's do another journaling prompt here. Angels, what actions do I take? Now, these cards will also bring in some clarity, and we're going to make sure we have the clarity we need for sure. So the first action the angels are asking us to take is this card right here. We're going to get into this 5 of water. Things not turning out the way you hoped, not seeing the positive situation, crying over spilled milk. All right, this is going to bring a lot of clarity here. I love this. I love this card as an action card, okay? Which, by the way, thank you for hitting like. I just saw a couple of people doing that. I appreciate it. It really helps my channel grow if you'll hit the like button and share this video with anybody it might resonate with, and also hit that subscribe button. So this card right here, when I look at it with these cards and the messages we had yesterday, we are being asked to flip the script on something because our mind is telling us that, hey, this hurt. We didn't like this. This was painful. We need time to heal. But also, we might be getting caught in that cycle of shoulda, coulda, woulda, right? We just said that. So instead, what we're being asked to do here is look to see where you keep going back to something from the past and rehashing it. If you're still feeling emotions around something, because water is emotions, that's where the script needs to be flipped there. Instead of saying, I should have done this, I should have handled it this way, I shouldn't have allowed that, right? You're going to be looking for that word should, or maybe you are reflecting from something from the past and something coming up with a family member or an event or something coming up for you. You're afraid you're going to have that same issue, that same confrontation, because yesterday we were asked to review other people's motives. So think about your plans that you have coming up later today, later this week, and look to see if you're expecting a confrontation from somebody or you're expecting things to be upsetting, because that's where we want to get out of our head and we want to say, you know what, I'm going to go into this strong. I'm going to focus on this cup that I have that's full of water, and I'm going to go spiritual. I'm going to bring in my spiritual team to help me handle these things. And that's going to be really positive too. Is remember that when you catch yourself getting stuck in your head, sleepless nights, worrying about things, that's when we call on our spiritual team. That's when we pray. That's when we meditate. That's when we ask ourselves, how can I look at this differently? And look at it as an opportunity to learn, look at it as an opportunity to shift the energy. If you've got that one family member that always has to bring up something from the past, or always has to bring up politics, or always has to criticize your way of doing things. Maybe they criticize the way you cook or criticize the way that you handle meal prep, whatever it is. I'm just thinking of anything that we might be dealing with right now. Look at it as an opportunity to handle it differently. Bring in your spiritual team. Ask for the help supporting you through that energy. I know my uncle's going to comment how stopped going to their church and they don't think that my church is good or whatever it is. If you just know these things are going to happen, we want to stop with that thought and just say, I'm going to allow it to unfold the way it's meant to, and I'm going to learn from it. And I'm going to respond, not react, right? So we do have that Mercury retrograde energy to help us rewrite the script, rewrite the way we view something. Good morning, Sicilian Frodite. Good morning, Angie. Good to see you here. Glad you made it. I'm going a little longer today because I don't have to race off to drop kids at school. And we've gotten some interesting cards here. So we definitely want to get clarity. And I'm definitely seeing that one of the key things to do right now is to make sure we are shifting the narrative. Sparkle and Grit says, so perfect. We just had the buyers of our house back out. I need to check myself and raise my vibration on that one. Oh, you know what? That's a tough one too. Selling a house is tough, but yes, I would definitely call in your spiritual team to help you with all of that, staying in divine flow. You can even visualize gold light flooding through your house to clear any energies and shield and protect it, and ask for all to work out in the highest interest of all. But that is something that when we get these cards, and we're getting all these cards of communication, what we're being reminded is we're not communicating enough with our higher self and our spiritual team. We're getting caught in our head. We're getting caught in the past. We're getting caught in, oh man, that didn't go the way I wanted, right? Instead of going, oh, now that I know that happened, how can I look at this differently? And so I'm so glad Heidi brought up the Mercury retrograde spread. Go grab your Mercury retrograde spread. Look to see how you can, instead of crying over spilled milk, see the positive and rewrite that. And Mercury is the planet of communication, right? And these cards are about communication. So just can't make this stuff up. It always aligns. All the signs are here to help us out. All right, let's go into our next action to take. And actually, so I don't forget to write down like I did yesterday, I'm going to write down the cards we have here because I forgot to write 9 of air for the near future card. And the action card is 5 of water. And then I'll just show you what I do here. I have things on my next page. And then I have my planners. So I go to just wherever the next blank page is because my journal is numbered. And then a lot of times what I will also do is I'll grab this page number here, 180. And I'll go back to this page and I'll just write 180 and I'll do an arrow. So I know that this November 26th, if I'm sitting here using hindsight and going back, it continues on 180. And then I do the same here. This is 177, angel number. This is 177. So I'm going to put that there so that I know if I, for whatever reason, flip here. Oh, this is continued from page 177. Alrighty, so now let's pull our 5th action card here. Angels, what actions do I take? We have this card right here as one of the actions. Here's another one. There we go. Renewal. Look at all these REs and communication cards. You just can't make this stuff up. It says review and evaluate a favorable assessment of the facts. Time to move in a new direction. So basically you're being asked to go get that Mercury retrograde spread I have linked below. If you haven't already, do some extra journaling around that. Use this energy because these are communication cards. These are talking about looking at things differently. Both of these cards are talking about that. And then moving in a new direction. That review and evaluate literally is saying, I'm going to have a renewed energy for this. I'm going to have a renewed outlook. I'm going to trust the divine flow, trust the guidance, and I'm not going to get stuck in my head when things come up over this Mercury retrograde energy. I mean, It's funny. It's like before I even started today, I had some tech issues. Even yesterday, before the actual exact moment, I was like, "Hi, Mercury retrograde. Let's work through this." and I and it's better to just accept that that energy is there and try to take a different approach. Um, so I really hope that this was valuable for all of you to see these cards together, because this is a time of really going higher with our thoughts, right? And remember, we were talking yesterday about my good friend, Reverend Robbie Hunt. For those of you who know her, she's the one that taught me the phrase, no is a complete sentence. And when I look at these cards, I think of another quote she's used that I believe she learned from one of her mentors, meaning allow others safe passage through your mind. Oh, and it's 655, another angel number there too. Allow others safe passage through your mind. So when we see these sleepless nights here, again, this forgiveness, we need to let them be on their journey. And tomorrow we're going to be talking about those in our lives that aren't on the same spiritual path or just haven't had that awakening. Maybe they don't understand what we're doing or what we're going through. And we're going to also allow them to be on their path. So we'll definitely talk about that deeper. Thank you all for being here with me a little longer today. I'll see you tomorrow morning for more journaling with me. I will see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central for our topic in our live and answering your questions. Grab that Mercury retrograde spread below, hit that like button on this video, and remember, take time every day to connect with the angels.